Hello, this is wmpyr. I'm here to talk about, for the traditional side of Filipino martial arts, we're talking about Kali, Escrima, and Arnis. I said there was a traditional and there's a modern, and that comes from Professor Remy Presas's teachings. And on the traditional side, this is the basic curriculum, okay? So no matter what school you go to, this is the general idea. I'm not saying this is absolutely always right. This is the most updated video that I've made on this subject, so I tried to simplify as much as possible for you guys, make it easy to understand. So once again, the traditional curriculum, we're going to go ahead and start with part A, which is your core skills. Okay, so these are the skills that you want to develop. Number one is the angles of attack. The angles of attack is generally taught with single stick, okay? You still apply it to double stick, double knife, everything you do, but you usually start off with single stick. And the angles of attack is forms, okay? So this is where you're following these lines of attack, which is like your diagonal, side to side, and stab, those kinds of things. And when I trained with people from different schools of Escrima, Arnis, and Kali, each one of those guys, their form was a little bit different from mine. So similar in many ways, but slightly different. Meaning there is a ton of these forms. So please know that there's a ton that exist. Learn as many as you can. But at the end of the day, it's about quality. So you can collect a ton, but it's better that you put more reps, okay? Don't just go into quantity, go into quality. And also, you can make an infinite number of, you can make these forms yourself, and there's an infinite possibility. Number two is arm weaving. Technically, it's a double arm weaving. And the meaning of arm weaving, it goes in deeper, but as for fundamentals, I think it's fine to understand that this basically means that you're going to be using both arms simultaneously. I mean, we're humans, we have two arms. When we fight, chances are that's what you're going to do anyway. So it's the skill of being able to use both of your arms skillfully simultaneously. That's different from single stick. You go right hand and then you go left hand. You go right hand 5 times, then you go left hand 5 times. That's not what we're talking about. We're going pretty much at the same time. So while the right arm is doing something, the left arm is maybe retreating, maybe it's angling, you know, so it's going to be simultaneous together. So that is a double arm weaving. Number 3 is target practice. And what that means is basically you're making actual contact. So this could be, if you have a stick, you're hitting something. You're hitting like the tire. The tire is really good because it's tough, sturdy, it can handle blades as well. And other people like to hit trees and stuff. Make sure it's a dead tree, that it's not a live tree so you don't harm it, okay? Just be mindful and, you know, respectful towards other living things. Number 4, these are partner drills, okay? And there's 3 types of partner drills: matching, attack and defend, and lock flow. Okay, so these are the major 3. Matching is what your partner and you're doing is the same thing. It matches, right? So if I'm doing heaven 6, they also do heaven 6. That's one type of the most basic, simple partner drill. Attack and defend is obviously one person is attacking, the other person defends. And then you're going to switch and you get reps at both. So you get practice attacking, but you also get practice defending. And then the last one, lock flow, is it's pretty much you're going from one technique to the next as smooth as you possibly can. And that's why it's called flow, lock flow, right? And the lock part it comes from joint locks, but it's not limited or restricted to joint locks. You could put in strikes, you could put in takedowns, throws, chokes, other stuff as well. But primarily speaking, it's usually a lot of joint locks. That's why it's called lock flow. All right, so once again, this is your core skill set. Next, we're going to move into core weapons. And the way that this works is core weapons. We got different weapons here. And you're working on this, the core skill set, the whole time. By changing weapons, you keep it fresh. So first, let's say you do all of this stuff with sticks, okay? And now we're going to do it with knives, training knives. And now we're going to do it with empty hand. And now we're going to change it to a flashlight or a pen or whatever. And you're constantly changing weapons, and that keeps it fresh. It makes it less boring for you. But at the end of the day, you're getting a ton of reps because you're still doing the same thing over and over. And that's how you get good, is reps, right? So that's pretty much how the Filipino martial arts system works, is it's based on reps. And by changing weapons, you keep it fresh, okay? So the first type is sticks. This is single and double sticks, right? That is your bread and butter. Number two, okay, number two is training knife. I know a lot of people want to jump into real knives. They go on Amazon and they buy knives right away. You want to resist that. Get training knives. Earn your way to an actual knife, all right? That's super important. And within the training knives, we have standard and reverse grips. So standard grip is pretty much where you're just holding it like this. It doesn't have to be like this. I'll consider all of that as standard. That's fine. Reverse like this, I mean, like this, that's all reverse grip. So upside down and the edge pointing outwards is reverse grip. Standard is pretty much upwards and edge facing towards the opponent. So if you're holding it, like this, to me, that's still, once again, standard grip. Just keep it simple. And yeah, so two types of grips right here. Next, those are the two major. Number three is empty hand, right? And I explained to you guys that empty hand there's actually a lot of different types of empty hands. You could be slapping, you could be palm striking, you could be doing palm heel, you could be doing clawing, punches, hammer fist, chops. I mean, there's a lot with empty hand. But yeah, so those three are your main weapons that you're going to be using to do this over and over, your core skills over and over again. There's more weapons. There's more. And you could even go into combinations. So one's a blade, one's an impact weapon, or one's long, one's short, right? That's getting closer to like espada y daga. And then ultimately we want to earn our way to real blades, to where we're doing the core skill practice with actual blades. And there's specialized weapons like tomahawk, the balisong, the karambit. So we get even more practice using that stuff. And then there's improvised weapons. So have you ever done your angles of attack with a frying pan? Have you ever done arm weaving with a tennis racket? With two tennis rackets? You want to get those kinds of experiences. But yeah, those are more later on. And as far as the basic traditional curriculum, I didn't put that in because that also depends on from school to school. Some schools will be like, this is our traditional weapon, or this is our specialized weapon. They have that. Some schools will specialize in certain things. So I didn't want to go into that. Last but not least is part C, which is 2 principles. So all of this that you're practicing here is going to operate upon two principles. Number 1 is defang the snake, super famous. And then number 2 is to flow. The meaning of to flow, which is to adapt and overcome, but also to be smooth, okay? To have a flexible mind, all of that stuff. And defang the snake, you could go deeper into the meaning and go, what does it really truly mean to defang the snake? Is it just attack their arm? It goes a lot deeper than that. To me, in my studies, it took me all the way back into the Filipino military way of thinking of guerrilla warfare, okay? And their history of what they had to deal with. But that's it for now. I hope this makes sense. Thank you for viewing, and take care, folks.